Hey guys, Nuie here, and welcome back to another episode of Build Theory here in PoE. First and foremost, I just want to say Happy 4th of July to everyone. I know this video is coming out on Thursday, which is about 2 days after, but 4th of July is the reason I am not, I did not make videos on Wednesday. Tuesday was 4th of July here in America, and we had very large celebrations, fireworks, that sort of thing. It was great, but I was out very, very late with my family and just enjoying the day. So I did not have the time to get videos out on Wednesday, and I apologize for that. If you guys are looking for my How to Astro series, I'm sorry, but I put that on hold for this week, just because of that holiday. But it will be back up and ready to go next week. But hopping into this build, this is my God of War Sunder build, basically. Basically, if you guys are aware of what God of War is a game where you basically go through and kill all the gods in Greek and different histories and stuff, and killing stuff like Poseidon, Hades, Zeus, stuff like that. And the main character's name is Kratos. In the reboot of this game that recently was released in E3, we actually witnessed a newer Kratos who, one, has a son, and two, starts wielding an axe, which is atypical to his typical weaponry. So when I came up with this build, it was kind of just, I got a really nice unique axe and I wanted to play around with it. So I made a build that utilizes 1 axes and 2 fire damage and 3 just kind of the sunder ability, which I had seen one of my friends used because he seemed to like it, so I just decided to grab sunder and then tie this whole build together. So the way this build works is that I mainly use sunder for my on my clear speed. I use leap strike to get around, and I also use an ancestral protector, just 1 for extra boss DPS and 2 for the extra attack speed. I also am running Rallying Cry just for some mana regen and extra damage, and I'm also running a Flame Golem just for extra damage. For as far as auras, I'm running Anger as well as Herald of Ash just for extra damage, and basically just for extra fire damage on top of my stuff. So getting down into my sockets, I'm currently running a Fortify support, a faster attack support, Sunder, and multi-strike support. Eventually I plan on replacing Fortify support with this melee physical damage support, but I can't do that until after the second clear of the Ascendancy Trials in Cruel Mode, where I can grab permanent Fortify, so that I no longer need the Fortify support. And then once I have permanent Fortify, then I can just add extra melee physical damage support. And I'll probably end up replacing faster attack support with like elemental damage support or something like that, since I already have multi-strike. It's not entirely necessary, but I just like it. It's just kind of a green socket that I had, and I didn't want to waste any currency on low levels maneuvering gear around, so I just kind of left it the way it was and took the attack speed. I run faster attacks for Leaksland just so I can just kind of spam it a little bit more. I'm also running Ancestral Protector with a added melee physical damage support, so that it hits a little bit harder. I'm running Herald Dash. I don't have anything on it right now. I'm also running Anger without anything on it right now. And then over here I'm running my Flame Golem, and he's getting an extra fire damage support. And I have Rallying Cry on my boots as well. I also may thinking about adding fire damage to my Sunder when I get like a 5-link or something like that, so just for the extra damage from that as well. But I'm also just running a heavy belt just for the extra strength, and then intelligence amulet just for the extra intelligence and extra life leech. So things like that. As far as flasks, I'm currently running a business flask. My build has a huge amount of elemental resist. Well, I feel like it's a huge amount of elemental resist from my passive tree, but right now I don't have that all yet, so I'm running this just for extra elements, and it's also increasing my evasion. I'm running a granite flask just for increased armor, and I'm also running a onslaught flask, so I'm running a silver flask for increased movement speed as well. My 2 health blasts, I'm running immunity freeze because I've just been pretty much seeing the absolute limits of this build as far as leveling and stuff. So I've just been going against whatever league stones I've been finding. So I've been finding some kind of difficult league stones, and they've been leaving me chests that freeze. So I'm running this just to avoid that. I'm also running one to avoid poison because I don't have a huge amount of chaos resistance. So poison does a decent amount of damage to me. So that's basically the grid and my build and what kind of abilities I'm running. And now I'm going to switch over to my Path of Exile actual build planner so you guys can see what my build actually looks like. So hopping into that, this is what my build looks like. I'm running the Champion Ascendancy for a Duelist. Basically, what I wanted to do when I got into the grid side of this build, I wanted to make a build that didn't totally rely on a lot of charges. Mainly I did this because I felt like if I could avoid using some charges, I could then kind of augment the build a different way without really focusing on it. And I felt like I did a good success of that. So I'm just up here in my when I get through all of my trials. First trial when I completed normal, first off I just face tanked it. I didn't take any damage because of my flask, and also because of just the extra armor and evasion that I currently had. I did not take any damage. Zaro really didn't hit me at all. Again, I did it at level 42, and I would definitely suggest for newer players, if you're getting into a trials for the first time, go to Act 4 and get a couple levels before, and maybe a couple pieces of gear before you come back to try to do it, because Zaro can be a little bit difficult of a fight for new players, and overall he can be a little bit challenging, but this build actually had 0 issues with him, did not take any damage, did not take any hits. I actually I wanted to get through it without actually leaving any of the totems up, but because Sunder is an AoE, I actually ended up, while I was killing one of the totems and stuff, I actually ended up killing him just from my Sunder damage. So I ended up completing the trials with numerous buffs, and I got numerous keys because of it, but I didn't realize that my damage would be so high, my avoidance of damage and armor would be enough to stop him from actually being able to hit me or do damage to me. So that was cool. But my first ascendancy tree, I always grab increased evasion, take the melee damage while I fortify, and then I grab the extra attack speed and armor evasion while I fortify, and extra damage while I fortify. So while I fortify while leveling, after completing the first one, I'll get 44% increased damage, 30% armor, or 45% armor, and then 10% increase the attack speed. And then the next 2, I'll go this way. I'll grab 15% more armor evasion, 14 melee damage, and then I'll permanently have fortify. So then all of these effects will always be active, and then I can remove that fortify gem you saw before. I'm also going to grab First Strike, Last to Fall, just for increased damage when I'm not in low life, and the Intimidate, as well as the extra armor evasion when I go on low life, and it removes status elements, so that's pretty nice too. And then this is just extra evasion armor and some attack speed, and then I'm grabbing Inspirational so that I deal more damage, and my allies will do some more damage, and as well as increased movement speed. I built this build kind of just expecting to play with some other players too, and not just to clear endgame top by myself. So I took this as well as just an extra 35% damage instead of taking taunt on hit or anything like that. Then heading into my tree, I'm gonna start up here, not because this is where I first start, but this is where I'm kind of branched at right now. I'm taking all the elemental resist as well as this socket up here. And then I'm taking 24 and then extra elemental resist right here. So this is where I'm getting a nice amount of my damage. I'm taking one-handed damage off of this. I take another socket here. I'm also taking both these damage nodes and then heading down. I grab the attack speed, grab all the mana, grab all the life, and grab the extra evasion rating and armor from here. Grab the extra evasion rating and armor from here, and the extra life. Grab all of the melee damage, all of this damage, all of this shielding and melee damage. I skipped a lot of attack speed in my build because I'm running multi-strike, so attack speed on top of it seems just kind of ambiguous. Like, I could definitely run it, and as you can see, I'm definitely running it currently with my attack speed extra, but multi-strike gives you such heavy attack speed anyways, it's not super necessary. Heading down, I grabbed this extra socket here, I grabbed all this extra health, I grabbed all this extra shielding and extra damage from shielding, and I grabbed all this elemental resist and extra health. And then I start getting into damage, start going towards my axes, start going towards my flame damage, my fortified damage, as well as some extra life leech. Then I started heading to the left a little bit, heading into the Marauder tree and grabbing up a whole bunch of health and armor. And then I grabbed all the elemental resist from that tree as well. And then I grabbed a whole bunch of extra damage and extra armor and then extra life, and then just finished out with some extra damage. So all of this again is for axes. So I like my one-handed axes version of this. It gives me a nice tree, but I guess you could also run this with like a sword or a mace because they're in the way. Like they're just on the way. So you could grab those. You could switch it up and grab those. You could even just switch it up and grab a totem, but my build is more focused on axes, so that's what I'm looking at. Overall, I ended up having a ton of health. Well, it's a pretty decent amount of health. Large amount of strength, good amount of dexterity, good amount of evasion, really nice amount of cold fire and lightning resist. Ended up with 83% overall in the 83% all res in just from my passive tree. So even just grabbing a couple of things from that. I didn't manage to grab any chaos resistance, but I guess I can just grab that from gear and not be too worried about it. Or just grab a flask that it makes me immune to it and be okay with it. But this is basically how my build works out. These are all my stats and stuff. I'm not gonna run through all of those, but yeah, this is basically how my build works. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be leaving the link to my build in the the description below, so you guys can check it out and go see everything and head over to that. Also, this is for new players who are not aware. This is PoE Planner. What this does is allows me to make my build outside of the game. It has one for all of the class changes, and it's even updated to the point that it can show 3.0 beta. This is a super useful tool to me. I was not told about this when I started the game, and they don't really have a lot of things to tell you about it or anything like that. But just through my own research, I stumbled across this, and this has been pretty much invaluable to me when I first started the game, because it lets me just plan out a build in my head, and then get everything that just bounces around into my head onto paper. So this is a super useful thing, and I would definitely advise you guys to use it. I'll be leaving the link to this website below, as well, so that you guys can check it out. And as you can see, I have a whole bunch of builds just set up and ready to go, and I can just click through them at any time and just go to them, and then all you have to do is just log in and use your own username and password, and you guys can get into it. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys give me plenty of thoughts and views on my build and anything you guys think would help me out towards endgame content. As I said, I'm only up through Cruel right now, and nothing is even challenging right now. Nothing is very difficult. I do have a couple of deaths, mostly from killing myself, just from kind of going wild and not paying attention to the explosion mobs, or volatile mobs I should say. But other than that, it's been great. I've only got like 7 deaths on this character, and it's pretty much all to explosion. Literally, it's pretty much all to explosion. I had a couple clenchy moments with Malachi, but other than that, it's been great. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you next week on the next build theory video.
Heaven sent my residence, it's evident, just visiting, blending.